Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Stand in line for your fix. DeMarcus and Marcus in the mix, serving you yet another round of fish and grits. May 25th, 2017. How's it going for you today, my man?
Man, everything's going all right. It's going all right, man. It was just today was a beautiful day because I went to work today. We had a meeting, and I been so busy and wrapped up in work that I didn't know the Memorial Weekend was this
Yeah,
weekend,
3 day weekend coming up,
and
man.
we off on Monday. I was like, what? So I had more motivation
Ah,
to get to Friday. So it was like I woke up and
ah,
I just found out I got 3 days to chill. Man, that's beautiful in my book.
that's a beautiful time right there, my man. But we are gonna start off with the catch of the day. Recently, we had my man Marcus in theaters, and he went out and caught Fast and Furious and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes,
Gonna
sir.
pump out a quick little review. Which movie you gonna start with first, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Let me see. What movie I want to start? Let's start with the older one, the Fast. I'm gonna start with Fast, the Furious Eight. They say.
Hmm.
Well, the thing I like about this movie was going into this movie, I didn't have high expectations to coming because coming out the seventh movie, I felt like the franchise took kind of a downward turn because the stunts start getting unrealistic and everything seemed to be um getting too jumbled up in my opinion. But the thing that I liked about this movie that the director F. Gary Gray did was he kind of centralized everything. He wrapped all the storylines together in a perfect way that it kind of fit the franchise for what the director and Universal wants to take this franchise with The Rock taking over and Jason Statham's character getting a expanded role. Then they want to take it away from Vin Diesel and the family aspect. So they kind of wrap that element with Vin Diesel having a child. That was the whole moral of the story, or the whole plot of the story, and why he turned bad is because the this lady Vesper, who's been controlling everything, she basically kidnapped his child, and Van Diesel had to turn on his team to get his child away. So all in all, the action was good. The best thing about this movie is honestly was The Rock, and he just shows his charismatic. He reminds me of a modern day Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you can see what I say, if you can see what I'm talking about. And what I mean is he has that charismatic thing, but he can pull off a role. He can say something cheesy, but it can come off as, okay, I can believe this. So I really enjoyed the Fast and the Furious. Tyrese character, Ludacris character, I really didn't care for those two. And I just don't feel like they wrote Tyrese lines as well can be. His character came off more as annoying, which I don't particularly like. But all in all, I think the Fast and Furious is a very entertaining movie. If you want to take the family, or you have a child that he wants to get out the house and you want to see something, a popcorn flick. So I would give that a 3 out of 5, honestly.
Okay, okay. And let's move on to the next film.
All right, man. The other weekend, I had a chance to watch Guardians of the Galaxy. And if you're the fan of the Marvel franchise and what they do with their films, you will enjoy this movie. If you're a fan of the first movie, you really would enjoy this movie. But me personally, I wasn't too taken with the whole movie. I am not going to call myself a comic book nerd, but I know enough of the history and the lore of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I personally didn't like the Groot. I know what they focus on Groot as Baby Groot from a marketing standpoint, but you know, I just felt like it was too much of a central focus, and it came off as a joke. So you would have moments of seriousness, and you would have these banter moments, and Rocket Raccoon talking to Groot, which is I mean, if you're 11-year-old kid, yeah, you're pretty impressed by the film. But I'm a 27-year-old man, and I just wasn't impressed by how you're trying to have a moment of seriousness, but you got this joking going around. So I wasn't too, I wasn't a fan of that. And another thing is that a lot of the comedy, some people wouldn't like it, but I don't know if I have a different ear for comedy, but some of the jokes went over my head. Some of the jokes didn't land, fell kind of flat. But the thing that I liked about this movie was Drax, the Dave Bautista. I don't believe I said his last name right.
Yeah, that's right, Batista.
Bautista, his character Drax, he was really the most likable character because he came off anytime he said a line, it was funny. It was like it really elevated the film because I was in moments of boredom. He would say something that would, catch me, and I'd be like, "Oh, that was pretty funny," and it took me out of the boredom. And I really like what they did with his character. I also enjoyed the Rocket Raccoon character. You know, I like Bradley Cooper. I'm always been a fan of Bradley Cooper, but I like the way that the Marvel has made this CGI character a likable character, and he feels real. So I really enjoy that character. The Kurt Russell character of Ego, wasn't a fan of it. I just wasn't a fan of the action. It felt generic, and it's like I seen that. You know, I've been there before. I wasn't impressed. Me personally, I'll give the Guardians of the Galaxy also a 3 out of 5. It is entertaining. I'm not going to be biased. Me personally, I would give it a 2 out of 5, but I can't be that hard on the movie just because how I am. But I know what certain people like to look for in a movie, and I really think this is an entertaining movie. If you want to take the kids out and see something fun, like I said with Fast and the Furious, and it's a good family film or a good day movie. So we have Fast 8. We're going to give that a 3 out of 5, and Guardians of the Galaxy a 3 out of 5.
Is it safe to say they both fairly disappointed you?
Not well. Actually, Fast 8 really shot over my expectations because I had zero expectation. As much as I like F. Gary Gray and what he's done, you know, with his films over the year and with the success of Straight Outta Compton, I knew he was going to centralize the story and have a good story through. But the thing that I didn't like was just I didn't really care for Vin Diesel and the whole family aspect. I didn't like Tyrese. I didn't like Luda. I didn't like anybody. The only people I liked is the bad guy who is played by Charlize Theron. I like The Rock because he has, you know, he just has that gravitas when he's on screen, and he was my favorite. And also Jason Statham. And I see why Universal wants to go away from Vin Diesel in that and go towards a new franchise with The Rock leading it, because I feel like you have more character with that. With his Hobbs character is more likable.
Okay. Fair enough, man. Well, let's jump into a little quick conversation we had a little earlier. You know, this is the one thing that stands out to me the most about what you was talking about as far as LeBron potentially getting swept by the Warriors. Mm-hmm. That's something that we haven't seen since Greg Pop swept LeBron, and that's also the last sweep that he has on his record. I want to say that's the only sweep he has on his record.
The only one, yeah.
So that's why it just feels so asinine to think that one of the better players of our generation, if you want to say greatest, whatever, depends on how you feel about him, to get swept in the finals that's so important for the NBA right now, because they really need the finals to pop off. And it's not on top of the fact that I don't think it can happen. I don't think it needs to happen. But I understand basketball is all about how the shots are going to fall, who's going to get hot, rotations, playing defense. All those things are key, but it's just very hard for me to see a LeBron James team getting swept. But I really want you to try to change my mind on this, man. So I'm going to give you the floor.
Man, you know I can't change your mind.
I mean, because I want to see what the reason is. Because like I say, I'm looking at it more the aspect that the best player in the NBA can't get swept.
Uh-huh.
You know, we just don't see that happening a lot. Like I said, I even gave Toronto a little credit. Like, there's no way they're going to get swept. I think they'll win a game. I mean, they won 2 games before, you know. So for them to go from winning 2 games against LeBron to 0 games against LeBron, what does that really say in the East? Because he really is running through all them. We know Boston snuck them with a game, but it's because they played more team ball than probably anybody expected. But a sweep in the finals, Marcus? A sweep? Like, okay. I know you changed the course. You said maybe a game, but a sweep is just, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. It's been 10 years since his last sweep.
Okay, man, this is how I'm going to equate it. And I don't know if anybody's going to take this, but this is how I look at it. So it's like when you play high school basketball and, you know, you dominating, you beating all the other schools, you beating all the rival schools, blowing them out, making it look easy until you step out of your comfort zone and you start playing AAU basketball, and it's a whole different other pace. It's a whole different other animal than what you're used to playing. So while we seeing LeBron just coasting through the East, and I don't care what nobody says, let's go back to that first round. They struggled against the Pacers, and this is the Pacers, the 7th seed struggling Pacers. They struggled, and the Pacers took them to, I want to say honestly, to the 4th quarter. It was an undecided matchup of who was going to win all 4 of those games. Mm-hmm. So you have to take a look at Cleveland's defense and say, you know, there is something going wrong there. You don't go 23-23 over the last half of the season without, you know, yeah, you can flip on the switch, but some things that are hidden in the dark, they get exposed in the light. And while they are showboating and running up teams and things of that nature, the Warriors see game tape of y'all slack on defense, and what the Celtics just showed you is y'all get exposed on defense when ball movement is flowing. And when the Warriors are the best at that ball movement, they lead the league in assists, they lead the league in scoring. So what do you think they're going to do? And then on top of that, if the Cleveland's defense is struggling and they're struggling against the Celtics at times, do you not think the Warriors are going to take advantage of that? And there's also that narrative, because let's take it back a little bit. When LeBron James was with the Heat and they beat the Spurs, you had, how lucky they got. That Ray Allen shot, we all talk about it, one of the greatest shots I've ever seen. And let's fast forward to how heartbroken the Spurs were because they knew they had it. Fast forward to the next year, the Spurs were hell-bent to get back to the Heat. And what did they do? What did they do to the Heat? They beat them 4-1. They balled on them boys. And that's the team, that's the Heat team with still young in his prime Dwayne Wade, still in his prime Bosh, still in his prime LeBron James, with all those weapons around him, seasoned in the system long enough where they know each other, and they got beat 4-1. This is a Warriors team. Yeah, they lost a few pieces, but guess what? And all those pieces you lost, you have a healthy Klay Thompson, you have a healthy Curry, who has finally been showing up in the playoffs. You have a healthy Draymond Green, who has been changing, who is a changing factor and a dynamic player on their team. And then you have JaVale McGee, who's balling, and then you have Kevin Durant, who's playing the most efficient basketball we have seen this season in the postseason. And you telling me that they can't expose Cleveland and get a sweep? I don't see why people don't think that's out of the question. I don't think that's like, as great as LeBron can be, I feel like we act like people can't be greater than him. You feel like you can't play, there can't be greater people. And then you have a greater team that he's going to be facing. I don't think they can get a game.
Down. Oh, yeah. Hands down, it's a greater team. And I can agree with that he is facing a greater team. But...
And it's one more thing I want to sprinkle in. So who is Kevin Durant? Who is going to be holding Kevin Durant? LeBron. That means LeBron's going to be putting in work on the defensive end, something that he has not been doing in these playoffs right now. Kevin Durant's going to be giving him that work, because if you watch, Kevin Durant has a better post game than he had the last time he faced LeBron. He has a better outside shot than he had. He had a better mid-range game. He also had better playmakers around him. Russell Westbrook took a lot of heat away from Kevin Durant. And when you got that ball movement going and those shooters around you, Kevin Durant is effortless. He's free out there, and you see it in his game. And I can't tell you, LeBron's going to be exerting so much effort on defense. I feel like his offense is going to fall off. And I feel like when his offense falls off, Kyrie's not always going to be there to go off of 42. Kevin Love's not always going to be shooting like almost 50% behind the arc. Those others are not going to step up when the leader's not balling. So I'm trying to tell you, that's what I see. That's what I see. I could be wrong. I might be wrong, but this is what I see. I'd rather step out of the box and be different than be in the box and be right.
Hey, and that's fine. And the way I look at things, majority of people have 2 days off on the weekend. They got your Saturday, you got your Sunday. Mm-hmm. And throughout the year, all right, that's cool to have the weekends off. But the last part of the year, when it's football season, you can't tell me that we don't wake up a little bit more different that Sunday than we do that Saturday, even though we've been off both days. Because we know we got our blood pumping, we're going to see some football today. It's just something to look forward to. Mm-hmm. The reason I'm saying that is because they have to wake up for the Cavs. It's no reason for them not to. I understand that the talent that they play in the East is not the same caliber. Yes, they slack off on defense. Everybody can see it. There's no way to hide it. But maybe they are just that easy to defend in the East. And like I said, this is not an excuse for why they should be playing that playoff caliber defense, not just lackluster, let's do what we can to get to the finals defense. But they have to be able to step up. But it's just hard for me to imagine at least one game. At least one game. Like I say, I still think the Warriors should win this series. If they don't win this series, I don't want to have to put up with those LeBron fans. I really don't. But
can't tell them nothing.
Can't tell them nothing. That depresses me so much. But at the same time, if they don't wake up for 4 consecutive games, that's a big problem for the NBA. And I understand that LeBron will have this sweep, another sweep on his finals record, another loss on his finals record, but the biggest loser will still be the NBA at the end of the day. And for the NBA's sake, I hope it doesn't happen. But for my sake, I hope that LeBron James don't win this title. I really do. I really do.
I understand. Hey, man, and the thing this is the thing that makes me mad sometimes when I talk to people and they love to say, when you criticize LeBron, you come off as a hater. Is that how narrow-minded we are as human beings right now, that we can't dislike something and people automatically think that we just hating on it? It's not like,
bro, come on now. Think 5 years ago. Remember those avid Kobe fans before he started to decline? Oh man, Kobe gonna have 7 rings by the time after he won those back-to-back rings. They thought he was never gonna lose again. They thought he was invincible. You couldn't say nothing about Kobe.
Exactly.
All they bring up is the 3 straight titles and the 2 straight titles. That's all they bring up. They wouldn't bring up the struggling years when he was losing to Phoenix in the playoffs, when he didn't have no talent, when he tore his Achilles, when he couldn't make it work with Dwight. They don't bring up those times. They bring up the good times. Exactly. It's the same thing you're seeing, just with a different generation from a different person. They love LeBron, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, like you're gonna have those truthers. It's a lot of Steph Curry truthers also, that once he get up to 3 or 4 rings, you're not gonna be able to tell them shit. He changed the game. Look at the threes he doing. It's all gonna be about him. They're not gonna bring up the fact that he got Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green on the team. It's gonna be all about Curry. You still got Durant fans that followed his ass to Golden State and became a Golden State fan. So you got certain truthers out there that it's just nothing you can do about it. But the common fan should have common sense, and that's what a lot of people don't have. And those people are the ones that's gonna argue up and down that LeBron is the king, that Kobe is the GOAT. And they always want to bypass Jordan, and they know nobody can ever touch Jordan's status.
But that's always an argument that I always laugh at, about the whole Jordan and LeBron, LeBron and Kobe. LeBron is he the greatest? It just feel like people are so
getting worse.
What it is people get caught up in the moment. They get caught up in the moment and they forget about the past. That's what it all is.
What's hot now?
Exactly. People right now will sit up there and say that let's say people gonna scream that Kendrick was the best rapper. Now he may end up being the best rapper, but it's just like, don't forget about the greats that came before him. Like, do you need to go back and re-listen to what they was dropping? And the same thing that goes with LeBron and everybody is LeBron greater than Michael Jordan. Do you need to go back and just go back a few 20 years and just go looking back at the game tape of what LeBron probably could not go through as easy? I just feel like people they forget how they're in a time where the NBA had popularity. It had a certain amount of popularity, okay? And what Jordan did for the NBA can never be mimicked at all, in my opinion. No. He brought it internationally. He brought it in the statewide. I'm pretty sure
he was Michael Jackson. You know, like,
you know what I equate him to? I hate to make this I hate to make this comparison for younger people, okay, of our generation. This is what it reminds me of: what The Rock did for WWF. How he put it on a whole nother different level. I feel like what The Rock did for how, the WWF was good. You watched it. In the back of the day, I watched it. And how he just electrified it in a way where you like, damn, is this what I've been missing? And then that's how Jordan was in NBA. He was like, damn, is this what we really been missing out on? Like you've been missing Dr. J, Bill Russell, and all them, and now you just now looking at Michael Jordan. I feel like that's what he did with the NBA. And yes, LeBron has done that to a certain extent to the new generation. But how about you don't forget about what he has to go up against? Like what he has gone against, I'm gonna put it like this. So Jordan, When Jordan was being great, he had to go against other great people. Okay, everybody was good at what they did back in the day. If you played hard defense, you was good playing hard defense. If you were out there just to shoot the jump shot, that's what you was playing. Everybody played harder back then. Everybody nowadays mimic their games off of who? Michael Jordan. So everybody's game has elevated, in my opinion. And I feel like LeBron James has been elevated to a whole nother level on top of everybody, and that's what everybody sees. But I don't feel like if you put Michael Jordan in this era, I feel like Michael Jordan would still be better, if not greater than what he used to be. You put LeBron James back in his era, I don't feel like LeBron James would have been that great.
And I can agree with that. You know, the problem is nobody appreciates the home cooked meal no more. And I'm gonna get to my reasoning behind that. Because you know, the home cooked meal, it takes maybe 5 hours, 6 hours sometimes, depending on how many people you got to feed. You got to put your heart into it. You got to let it marinate a little bit. Everybody wants to have a drive-through society. They want to go through, get a quick meal, but they don't appreciate that food. You know, we got to appreciate what Jordan did. You can't continue to go through these drive-throughs and want to pop off with all these quick takes about how LeBron's the GOAT, how it's Kobe the GOAT, and you never really appreciate that home-cooked meal. Appreciate that home-cooked meal, fellas. You got to. But, you know, man, let's jump right quick into some free agency rumors. You know, we seen a couple of rumors. Of course, the top two free agents, in my opinion, going to stay with Golden State and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. But is there any other name that's floating out there that you feel like is definitely going to be on the move?
Gordon Hayward. I really want to see where he's going to go because he's the key to Boston's success in challenging the Cavs going into next year. I feel like, you know, because I don't feel like Boston they're content on not trading that draft pick. So if that's going to be the case, then that means that the Celtics going to have to make a splash in free agency. Mm-hmm. And the only person I can really see them grabbing is Gordon Hayward because the whole Gordon Hayward and Brad Stevenson connection. And if they don't get him, they're going to be –
it's a damn good connection to have.
Exactly. But if they don't get him, they're going to be shit out of luck. That's the thing that I'm worried about. In my opinion, I want to see where he goes because he's the key to if Boston is going to be relevant next year. And if you want to be truthful,
you know, honestly, in free agency, from my standpoint, I want to see Chris Paul be selfish. You know, because I think it's a lot of superstars that went out there. They get to pick and choose where they want to go, and Chris Paul has never really got to pick and choose where he wanted to go. Yeah, he re-signed with the Clippers, but he also re-signed thinking that team had potential. Talk about Blake Griffin, J.J. Redick, DeAndre Jordan, when he was growing into, all the different role players they brought around from Paul Pierce to Luke Baumute, Jamal Crawford. So, you know, that's a solid roster to be a part of. Like, why not be a part of that? But Chris Paul has to do the best decision for him. And like we talked about before, the best decision for me, for Chris Paul, would be to join Greg Pop. You know, I feel like everywhere he's been the best coach. From Byron Scott to Doc Rivers, I feel like he's the best floor general. Everybody's going to rally around him. And I don't think he has a coach that taught him anything yet. So I think you bring somebody with the knowledge of Greg Pop, the last person to sweep LeBron, one of the people that had a huge-ass lead on the Warriors this year in the playoffs that no other team can say, regardless of what happens in the series, just the fact that he can coach his team to that type of success. Look what he got out of Jonathan Simmons. Look what Danny Green is. Look what DeJounte Murray became. You know, look at the career Manu Ginobili had. Tim Duncan. He's trying his best with LaMarcus just to put him in position. Don't you think he can do those same things with Chris Paul? Like, easily. So I really want him to be selfish this year because it seems like everybody in the league is being selfish. And even the last president, when Derek Fisher was president, he got traded to the Rockets. He didn't report. So he did that for Derek Fisher reasons. So Chris Paul is president. He has the right to make the best basketball decision for him and go to a team that's going to actually have some type of true success and get this huge-ass damper off his career of not getting to the Western Finals.
Yeah, man. I remember me and you. I think me and you said that. We said that Chris Paul should go to the Spurs.
Not everybody's saying it.
No, I feel like if everybody listens to our podcast, they somebody heard our podcast and said that in somebody's ear, like, hey, we never thought about Chris Paul going to the Spurs.
I didn't hear that narrative nowhere else.
Ever. Especially when we even said it, because when we said, I don't think there was even a narrative that he was going to leave the Clippers.
Nope.
So man,
they were still trying to fix it. So,
but yeah, if he goes there, man, that'd be a nice pickup. But another person I was thinking about the other day is if Gordon Hayward is on the move, and if Boston signs Gordon Hayward, wouldn't it be nice if they picked up like Kyle Lowry or something like that? Don't you think Brad Stevens is the type of coach that he can motivate to get the most out of Kyle Lowry come playoff time?
I think that's true, but it also depends on what kind of mindset Kyle in. If he's in championship mode, he needs to take a pay cut. You can't be in championship plus max contract mode. You're gonna have to make a sacrifice somewhere. So if he's willing to take that pay cut, they'll be a hell of a fit. You talk about two of the best point guards in the East on one team, in Isaiah and Kyle. So I'm sure it can be a fit, especially in that offense. But he's gonna definitely have to take a pay cut or a veteran minimum or something.
Yeah, man. But if he goes there, I feel like Boston would be a good fit for him. I think Memphis would be a good fit. But I heard Memphis was looking at Derrick Rose. So if he goes to Tibb, man, them Wolves gonna be scared to look at it. If you want to be honest, if they get a healthy Derrick Rose that played for the Knicks last year, I don't know if anybody really noticed, but Derrick Rose had a really good season with the Knicks last year. I was looking at that. I think he's like averaging 17 points and like 7 assists. I said, Derrick Rose? Hell no. So,
on that dysfunctional team, that is surprising.
And just think about that. If he were to get to the type of play that, I guess, personally, you're a Derrick Rose fan. I'm not really a Derrick Rose fan. If he can get to the type of play that Derrick Rose kind of played at with his MVP type of level, he'll get that out of him with Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins. Damn, man, we might be looking at a team that can defeat Golden State, in my opinion.
Right, they on the rise. Definitely, I love all the moves that they doing. They could do it, but they definitely need some more shooters. They'd have to bring in maybe like a JJ Redick. They just need somebody that can hit some threes. But the other person I see that should be on the move, if Chris Paul leaves, I think Blake needs to leave. You know, at first I was with this whole concept of maybe he should go back home to Oklahoma, team up with Wes. But I think Blake needs to go east. And I think it's no better place to go than Miami. You know, they going to be giving up on Bosh, so it look like that power forward spot is going to be open. I think him being next to a Whiteside, I think that's a better version of DeAndre Jordan. At least offensively, he's better. You still got Justice Winslow, Dragic. You got Richardson. So it's still a few pieces. I think he'll be able to come in there, be an official playmaker with scores around him. And I think he can mesh right in with Pat Riley.
Yeah. You think D-Wade might come back?
To the Heat?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I think D-Wade is in – I think he in ring chase mode. I think he going to line up with his boys.
I hope so. Man, how pissed would I be if I find out D-Wade goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers? Boy, I'd be pissed.
Dude, the Warriors just got Durant. What you expect?
Okay, but think about this. Kevin Durant was able to fit into their salary cap, and guess what? Golden State is not even over the salary cap.
Man,
people forget about that.
D-Wade snuck Chicago for a quick $20 million. I'm sure
sure
he'll be like, I'll take 7. You know, I'll take 6.
He's gonna take 7? Man. The Cavs can't afford D-Wade. They would have to cut somebody off that team.
They're just gonna go over the salary cap, the luxury cap. They'll pay
they already are the luxury cap.
He'll pay those taxes.
Man, see, okay. This is where we're gonna be at right here. If that shit were to happen, I need everybody to hate fucking LeBron, and I need everybody to hate fucking Dwayne Wade. I kid you fucking not. If you give shit to Kevin Durant going to Golden State could afford him, give him a max contract, and still be under the salary cap. And you don't hate LeBron, who's fucking overpaying for Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving.
I don't know if I get
all of them niggas are over fucking paid.
JR, yeah. JR getting guap.
No, Tristan Thompson too, and Kevin
Tristan
Love.
Getting like 80, and Kevin getting like 80. Yeah,
all these niggas got damn near max contracts, over the salary cap, over the luxury fucking tax. And if they get D-Wade and still keep that intact, Fuck the Cavs. I'm telling you. I swear, nobody should like LeBron. There should be no question anymore. Is LeBron James better than Michael Jordan? That just fucking summed it up. If that shit happened.
Oh, man. So I guess you won't be celebrating if that happens. Huh?
Boy, DeMarcus, I swear there should never be a conversation about is LeBron the greatest player ever or is LeBron greater than Michael Jordan ever.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
I swear it should be if ESPN run a story if is LeBron greater than Michael. I swear it should be nukes dropped on ESPN.
Oh man, I convinced. But I'm so
Take them niggas out.
Oh man, you know, let's get into some NFL rule changes. Now that I bring up celebrations, man, they can celebrate again. You know, touchdowns are gonna be fun.
No twerking though.
Red zone should be fun. You know, like just seeing everybody doing their dances and stuff. But you know, I think the biggest rule change was the cut that I was telling you about, the cut down to where there won't be the 75 player cut. Now it's gonna go straight from 90 to 53. 1,184 people will be out of a job at once. That's a staggering number for an athlete. You know what I mean? Like for a regular person, if it's like Exxon Mobil or some shit like that, they most likely gonna have, you know, some kind of pension package, just take care of them for maybe 6 months. These people, most of them gonna be tryouts. You know, it's not like they can go to another team and try out because they gonna be at 53. So it's like you just throwing 1,200 athletes out there saying feed for yourself. Maybe you'll get on the practice team, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll get an opportunity if somebody gets hurt, but you got to stay ready. And what if you come in day one knowing you're not going to make the damn team and you still got to wait 4 fucking weeks? Like, bro, like that's not right. I think they should have kept it at the 90, 75, 53. That's just too many bodies getting pushed out there. And think about this. Say if you're over player personnel, you got to evaluate all these open market talents. How the hell am I supposed to evaluate 1,200 people before Monday? And they all getting cut on Friday. How?
And another thing about that is when you have all those people getting cut out there, that means that damn near all the scouting people that need to pick up people on the practice squad got all those motherfucking people to evaluate now.
Yeah, that's 1,200 people to evaluate to possibly get on what a 12-man practice team roster. Are you fucking kidding? So I'm supposed to. That's like 0.1%, bro. Like that shit crazy.
Man, that's not right in my opinion. It's
not right. I think that's the worst move that they made. Like they just throwing 1,200 people out there ass naked. Like, okay, well, we didn't need you guys. I know we wasted your time, but you knew you weren't gonna make the team. Like, come on, dude, that's fucking trash.
Man, and you can't really even evaluate talent that quickly. You can't sit and telling me that somebody's gonna work for me a week and I can really tell if they can really make it in life long term. Get the fuck out of here. Like that's not right. And I really don't like that. And I feel like the NFL, you know, it's just petty NFL really. It is, you know how they are. They do what they want to do. But another rule change that I'm mad that they didn't get rid of carry through was the extra point kick.
Which rule change was it to eliminate it completely, or to keep it back, or move it back to the 2 point?
No, eliminate that completely.
Man, go for 2 every time.
That's what okay. So every time I watch the Steelers game, you can see that.
Yeah, they do it. Yeah,
they do it all the time. But it makes the game more exciting in my opinion. Because it's like. So they made the rule change of they moved where you gotta kick the field goal kick a little bit further back to make it challenging. A lot of more people was missing field goals and extra points or blah blah blah.
Which made it interesting. I mean, the Patriots did lose the AFC Championship game due to it. So,
but at the end of the day, it's just like you're really gonna put the chances of the motherfucking game
on the kicker
to a kicker.
And after a 90-yard drive to tie the game,
you're gonna put it on a kicker. Or like, okay, so we just scored this touchdown in 30 seconds, and we have to give it to the kicker. No. So I really wish the NFL just said we're gonna cut that shit. It's more entertaining to me, you know, going for the 2-pointer because you know you can do more. I guess it's more on the edge of your seat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So
I think it would be more entertaining, but I can kind of see why they don't want to do it. I think it got a lot to do with Vegas because it'll be harder to get people to get people to bet on. Like as much as they don't want to talk about it, bro. The NFL want people to bet on games. I mean, how stupid are we to be like, oh, the NFL is going to move to Vegas, but they don't want to allow gambling? Get the fuck out of here. We know exactly what they want to do because they know exactly how much money they'll be able to make within Vegas. And I think the other one that kind of pissed me off was the overtime getting lowered from 15 to 10. And I don't think it's necessarily the minutes that pissed me off. It's their reasoning. They said for player safety. I mean, how many overtimes are we seeing a year, Marcus? And what? Maybe 5, 6 tops. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't seeing overtimes on the regular like that. And they want to talk about player safety. Player safety will be taking away these fucking Thursday night games that had Luke Kuechly look like he's seen a fucking ghost at the playing the game before that. You seen that though, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Dude, that was the scariest shit I ever seen. Because I'm out here thinking like, oh shit, he done fucked up his leg. But then you look at the replay like, okay, his leg not fucked up. So what's going on? And he just staring. He just lost. I'm like, bro, this dude that got his ass knocked the fuck out on here, and y'all talking about player safety. Take these games off. JJ Watt, what game did JJ Watt go down?
Thursday.
What game did Mike Evans leave early? Remember he took that huge ass hit over the middle?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen so many stars go down on Thursday night football, and that's just a few off the top of our head that I can't even recall them all. Player safety will be taking that shit out. Go ahead.
And somebody needs to call the NFL out because the only reason why Thursday night games are so relevant is because of fantasy football aspect.
Not even that. It's because they got these big ass contracts with like Twitter and Amazon that's paying them $1 billion for a fucking viewing. Oh, come on, bro.
But that's true. But I'm talking about the revenue alone from fantasy football. Do you know how much popularity the NFL has gotten because of fantasy football and FanDuel and all that shit? It's always about money with the NFL, and they try to hide, and it's like, oh, what was me? We're trying to protect the players. No, we know you're all about the money. If you want to be serious about it, because Thursday night games are stupid, they're boring. So you're not getting my interest.
They're unsafe. I mean, that's what it really is. They're unsafe. And
I would enjoy a good Saturday night football game.
That's different, but because look, just think about what you just said. That's 2 extra days.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like these players get into car wrecks on Sunday to stroll your fucking body out there 4 days later. Plus you got the travel day. Lord knows I hope y'all ain't practicing that week.
Exactly.
So it's just a lot, man. So if you really want to talk about player safety, they need to put some of that money back, give it back to them. Take these fucking players off on Thursday, and maybe you'll have a more competitive game on Sunday when your fucking players are not getting scared to shit from taking hits.
And what's funny is I want to go back and I want to backdoor and talk about that overtime rule. I just don't understand how the NFL has their rule that in overtime, the game is fucking decided if you get the coin toss, you win the coin toss.
Can they just change the college?
And you run fucking 90 yards for a fucking touchdown.
Game over.
What? I can't tell you I lost the game on a fluke play.
I can't get 8 position.
I can compete. Like what the hell? Or I come down here and I lose to a field goal kick? What? Get rid of the field goal kick. No.
Overtime, no field goals.
Man, it should.
If overtime was the first team to score a touchdown, I love it. That means everybody gonna go for it on 4th down and all type of crazy shit.
But they need to go ahead and bring the college system back. They need to bring the college one down.
They need to bring. I mean, every team should. I don't think they should start at like the 25. I say start at the 40. You know, you think that's reasonable for NFL to start at the 40?
Is.
If you score, all right, the other team get a chance. If you don't score, if the other team score, they win. Like it
makes it more entertaining too.
Yeah, just give everybody a chance. Like you said, take the kicks out of it. That way, ain't no stupid ass kickoff return gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Get a team the ball and let's go. Let's go at it. You know,
and then then it helps the defense out a little bit. Oh no, it don't help the defense out. It makes the defense step up some. Because
actually, it kind of does because a lot of people are on special teams, so they ain't got to run down full speed and line back up. So it does. You got a point right there. It does help them.
So I mean, those are good rules. And that though dancing, I'm so glad they kind of relaxed it where you can dance. What is it under like 40 something seconds or something like that?
Regardless, just to give him that freedom, because you seen so many players, they getting scared, like they looking at the ref like, is he gonna throw the flag? Damn, he threw the flag.
And then he did that, and it seemed like Roger Goodell had to add that no sexual, like sliding down the pole or twerking. It's like, we know you're talking about Antonio Brown because he's the only person that does that.
Yeah, he should have just went ahead and.
I mean, Von Miller just impregnates the other team's fucking cheerleaders. That's right.
All right, bro. Man, I think that's all the rule changes that we've seen over time. Roster. I forgot about this one. This is huge. 2 players can come back from injury reserve. That's huge news. I know it may seem small, but say if a player got hurt at the beginning of the year, they wait 10 weeks, hey, they may be eligible for the playoffs, So I think that's going to be a huge rule change. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a chess piece, but I also think it gives teams the opportunity to like hide players that may not actually be hurt, but you want them to be fresh for like X amount of time. So
that would piss me off, but that would piss me off too.
You know who's going to use that rule? Bill Belichick. So
what you doing?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Grunt going to be hurt. Like, did Grunt come out balling for the play? Come on.
Hey, but you did. Hey, but Grunt got that new incentive in his contract, so he's going to want to play.
Well, he got a ball.
Hey, fantasy tip. Hey, go after Grunt.
There you go, dude. It's a lot of tight ends out there. We're gonna have to get into some.
I'm going after Grunt. I never draft Grunt ever. This is the first year I'm drafting him in every league. I'm telling you, he's about to eat, and Mike Evans is about to eat.
There you go, man. Before we get up out of here, I just wanted to bring up OTA holdouts or people that don't report the OTAs.
Odell,
Dwayne Brown. It's a few of them out there, but it just kills me because I don't understand why it's news. Like, I can understand if it was the mandatory one, but this is the voluntary workout, okay? So if it's not the mandatory one, I don't think headlines should pop up. It ain't like Odell out there being a bum. He working out. He's just working out on his own time. It's not a mandatory workout. So I just don't understand what the big issue is. Now, I do take more of an issue with Dwayne over Odell because Dwayne Brown been busted with PEDs before. I almost got busted again because he's eating steroid burgers out of town, which I don't know what the hell he's doing eating 10 burgers, but that's for another day. You bust your ass to come back healthy, and I understand you don't have any guaranteed money on your contract. But we're talking about the Texans here that really don't give up on veterans. The only reason that they actually gave up on Andre Johnson is because he pretty much talked his way out and forced his way out, which is over a 2-year process. So there's no way in hell you can tell me that they wasn't going to hook Dwayne up at some point in time. We still got to pay DeAndre Hopkins. We still got to play County. And whoever else may come along. But Dwayne Brown, that's probably one of the most selfish moves I've seen him make for a leader on the team. Because if it's anybody that should be holding out is Whitney Merciless. Because the fact that he's only getting paid like $5 to $7 million a year for the production that we've been giving him with all the stars that's been hurt around him, he should be the one that's not reporting. But he's the first one there trying to help along all these young linebackers. And Dwayne Brown, we need you to help along our right tackle that we really don't have at the moment. Just any type of continuity along the offensive line. And I think this is really going to be a major step back for the offensive line, him not being there.
Yeah, and if you want to, I want to go back and touch on that OTA. It's only news because let's go ahead and say it, because we're halfway to the NFL season, and the NFL has to have some type of story out there. It has to have some type of. It has to be some type of what you want to say, some microscope on Odell, so people can start chattering and like, ooh, I need to pay attention to the NFL or something like that. So if you want to be honest about it, I feel like it's not that important. I feel like people just love to just talk about some shit, honestly, just to get through the NFL year. But then if he starts to miss more of them, it may be a problem. And I think
when it's the voluntary ones, okay, that's different.
I think he may sit. I think he may sit out for the for some money.
Who, Odell?
Yeah, I mean, he only get paid like 1.5, 1.8.
I mean, because he's still in his rookie deal. I mean, I guess it is time for him to get it, but I don't think nobody from that draft class got an extension yet. I mean, you still got Carr, got Khalil, JD ain't got paid yet. You still got.
Look at Odell. Look at Odell. Look at Odell compared to all those people. Odell's the face of the NFL right now, if you want to be honest. And he's probably going to go in there.
The biggest NFL contract as far as the shoe deal concerned. So, hey, you got to pay.
Yeah, man. He's going to go out there and he's going to let the NFL know, like, hey, I'm your brand. I'm the one with the most commercials. I'm the one out there on the most billboards or something like that. I'm the one with the shoe deal. Or I'm like, who's the one bringing the attention? Like the NFL, look at the ratings before I caught that one-handed catch or some shit. He's gonna come with some leeway, and he's gonna say that even in people talking about him, you still get more attention to the NFL and something like that. I just really feel like he gonna really do some. I can see him doing some petty shit like that. I hope he don't do no petty shit like that, but I can see him doing some shit like that.
Did you take any issue? I know you're not a big Jets fan, but did you take any issue with the Jets saying that the locker room is a lot better without Brandon Marshall, or do you see that being a factor as far as the locker room with the Giants? You think he'll be a distraction? Just how do you feel overall about that?
I just feel like the Jets are just better. I mean, I just feel like I always got to talk some type of shit.
They did have Ryan Fitzpatrick as starting quarterback for 2 years. So.
I mean, that just tells you enough about your organization. Like the Texans took Ryan Fitzpatrick because we had nobody else.
Stopgap.
Exactly. Everybody in the world knew that. The Jets took him, and we were like, "Whoa! Didn't y'all just draft
this is the guy?
Didn't you just draft Geno Smith to be your future quarterback?" Oh, okay. Shows you about your organization. Did you just pick up Darrelle Revis that just had a terrible year? Oh,
bro, just paid that boy like $20 million for like 6 years. For no reason.
I was like, okay, y'all stupid, but I mean, I don't pay no mind. You know, where Brandon Marshall, you're gonna get your rah moments, but the Jets are probably complaining. I'm pretty sure they didn't say that last year the year before last when they were 9-7 or whatever, and Brandon Marshall was balling and having what is that?
Right? You know what I'm
14 touchdown catches. Like, yo, nobody was saying nothing. So
first or second in the league. Yeah.
If you want to be honest, I feel like he probably was mad in the locker room. I mean, they were trash. Like, look at Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He used to bury them on his show too. So I'm
exactly.
Sure
he had to carry them niggas, and then Matt Forte. I mean, he was doing okay. And you signed that old ass nigga. What another dumbass decision? But
gave him crazy money.
I mean, that's just. Honestly, I don't think he's going to be a distraction. I hope he's not a distraction. I want to see how that whole Brandon Marshall and Odell Beckham, that can go left or right if you want to be honest with me. But I have high hopes for the Giants, and I have high hopes that they're going to work it out some type of way and get to that level that I think they're going to get to this season, honestly.
Okay, and the last question I got for you, man. We just seen Victor Cruz finally get signed to a team,
to the Bears.
Chicago Bears. Do you think he'll be able to make any type of impact with the Bears, or you think he'll be hurt in no time?
Oh man, it's Mike Glennon. So I mean, what do you think you're gonna get?
Mike Glennon talking that talk, dude.
Hold on, let me rewind this. Mike Glennon. Okay, so in fantasy football, I had to pick up Mike Glennon. So I happened to watch the Bucks games a little bit more than I usually would. And Mike Glennon actually has a decent type of game if you want to be honest. And coming back with Jeremy Lamb and what's the other dude? The running back.
Josh Howard.
Josh Howard, the one that just had a good season last year.
Jordan Howard.
So them two really in the backfield. They got some good offensive line pieces in the draft. They just picked up a linebacker or something like that. And then Victor Cruz. I mean, no telling. They got a good young core of wide receivers, if you want to be honest. And Victor Cruz
really ain't got much because it looked like Kevin White still hurt, man.
Kevin White you can't depend on him anymore. You had to cut your losses with him because he's not going anywhere fast.
That's a top 10 pick.
What a waste of a draft pick.
Would you rather have him or Sammy Watkins? Oh Jesus!
Ooh, man, damn.
And on that note.
That's the person. Hey, if you want to be honest. That's this nugget in there. If the Redskins really was about, trying to do something in the regular season and trying to stand out, they would take a shot at Sammy Watkins because
somebody gonna pay him. Somebody gonna pay him big money.
But that's the thing about it. Even if they don't pay him big money, taking that chance on him or like a Josh Gordon, I think that could really pay out for the Redskins because that defense is really clicking. Especially we talked about that last episode with defensive key pieces that they picked up. I feel like they pick up one of those good wide receiver deep threats. Hey, it might make some noise.
If I'm Sammy Watkins and Buffalo already declined my my 5th-year option, I want to go to a dome team. I want to go somewhere where I can be fast. I'm not here to give a prediction as far as who, but playing in Buffalo, bro.
The Vikings. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. Him
and Cordell Patterson would be nice. And Stephon Diggs, that would be nice.
Cordell's in Oakland, so they really don't have that deep threat.
Oh, he did leave. You're right. I mean, he was young. He was underused there.
He was. I mean, but look at the quarterback situation. Teddy Bridgewater wasn't letting that bitch rip. Sam Bradford is check down mastered, bro. This dude, he ain't seen the pass. He want to throw over 6 yards yet.
Cordell Patterson may be the golden ticket the Raiders need to go to the Super Bowl next year. If you want to be honest,
I still think Holmes was good, so that's even better. I think they have.
But I'm not talking about just. I'm not even talking about on the offensive. I'm talking about in kick returns and punt returns. That's 6 points right there.
Yep, that is a different dynamic. That's game changing right there. That's game.
So hey, man. Oh, and then if before we wrap up, let's talk about. Let me throw this in there about the Bears. They might have a quietly good season because you're gonna have Victor Cruz, Kim Meredith, who was having a great end of the season last year. True. Zach Miller's gonna come back healthy. Jeremy Langford, like we were talking about, and then also I like they got Mark Sanchez. So if Mike Glennon get hurt, I feel like Mark Sanchez,
Trubisky,
I feel like he can get something out of him. I mean, don't trash. You think they're gonna roll him out there? Hey, you think they're gonna roll him out there? Mike Glennon?
Why not? You got nothing. You lost draft capital. You got nothing. You got nothing to lose but more games. So shit. All you can do is pick another quarterback or pick another weapon for him. So shit, fuck it.
Hey, the Bears so smart that they drafted Mark Sanchez. So they, if everything goes away, they know to throw Mark Sanchez in there to tank the season.
Anything else you want to tell the people, man, before we start wrapping up?
Nah. Oh, check out that new show called Snow. No, is it Snow? No, is it Snow? Snowfall? I think it's Snow. It's coming out on FX in July. Check out for that.
Your show about to come back on Game of Thrones, huh?
Oh yeah, man. They just released a trailer. It kind of blew my mind. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You gonna
have to start doing some reviews on that too, man. Like I said, I know I don't watch it, but I'll be interested to see what you got to say about it.
I'm a Game of Thrones fanatic, and man, I saw that trailer and I was like, shit, that it's still about to go down. It's the most. I tell anybody, and I'm gonna be quick. But I tell anybody, if you really want to experience a life-changing thing, watch Game of Thrones. It literally elevates you from society, how we have it now, to medieval times, and you really get engaged in the show. I mean, like, damn, it's like damn near The Wire of fucking medieval times. I'm like, shit, this stuff is really deep.
Nice. Hey, man, I think you're going to have to drop like a little 5-minute review on Game of Thrones or something on the side.
Hey, we can sprinkle that in there.
There we go, man. But if you want to reach us, you can always hit us on Facebook at Fish and Grits. We also on Twitter at Fish and Grits 713. Add us, tweet us, whatever. Just holler at us. But as for now, this has been Fish and Grits, and you guys have just been served.
Y'all enjoy.